Hey there, fifth grade. Happy Monday. I hope everything that you had a restful weekend and you're ready to start this week. If you're dragging and you're kind of really tired, just kind of encourage yourself with the fact that today is the first day of the last full week of school. Next week you have only 4.5 days. The week after that, I think you have 3.5. So can't really fault that. So you've made it. You've come through the entire year. Your summer vacation is just right there beyond you, and you're going to get there. I have every full confidence. I hope you're enjoying having Mr. Boyd as your sub. Please be kind. Pay attention. Davita and Jeremiah, please make sure that you're not looking at the computer screens behind you, and you're giving Mr. Boyd your fullest attention. Now I want to go over briefly what we went over on Friday, which was adding ER and EST to our adjectives and adverbs. Before I go into the review, I'm going to say again, I need you all to understand that adjectives only modify nouns and pronouns, and that adverbs modify adverbs, adjectives, and verbs. But in regards to our lesson on Friday, you're only ever going to add the suffix ER and EST to an adjective when it's comparing two nouns. You're only going to add ER and EST to an adverb when it's comparing actions. So kind of lock those rules into your head, and let's look at the examples I have here. So we have today's thunderstorm was loud. Loud is your adjective. It's a predicate adjective in this sentence. It's not comparing the thunderstorm to anything else. It's just describing the thunderstorm. However, my second example, yesterday's thunderstorm, was louder than today's thunderstorm. You notice that we added the suffix ER to loud, and that's because we are comparing today's thunderstorm to yesterday's thunderstorm. And in our last sentence, we have Saturday's thunderstorm was the loudest of all. We have added the suffix EST to loud because we're now comparing the thunderstorm of Saturday to all three thunderstorms, and therefore we would use the EST suffix. If you remember going over our yellow section, typically we add ER and EST to small words, 1 to 2 syllable words. And I make that distinction now because our lesson today has to do with how do we compare things when the adjective or adverb is more than 2 syllables. And rather than adding ER or EST, we're going to actually add a whole word to the adjective or adverb to make the comparison make sense. But I just want to go through that. Now, going down to my last two examples for Friday's review, we have the winds were the strongest by the shore. So you have strongest again being an adjective that it's going back to winds, and it's comparing the winds to all the winds across the terrain. So you would add the EST suffix. Then you have the thunder lasted longer than the rain, and in this case, longer is an adverb, and it's modifying lasted. It's telling you when or how, to what extent the thunder lasted. It answers that adverb question, to what extent, longer than the rain. All right, so now everyone go ahead and turn over to page 241 in your books, and let's look at the yellow box at the top. And this is where we're going to be comparing more and most and less and least. So follow along with me as I read. An adjective can compare nouns and pronouns. Short adjectives add ER or EST, while long adjectives use more, most, or less and least to compare. See the example? Snowstorms are less forceful than blizzards. Then signals a comparison between snowstorms and blizzards. The adjective forceful is too long to add ER to without making the word, I'm sorry, they have that worded oddly. The adjective forceful is too long to add ER to without making the word difficult to pronounce. I think they added more an extra 2 in there. But anyway, so we can't say forcefuler or forcefulest. It doesn't make sense. Little children would say that, but we're not little children, so we're going to come up to the next level. So here's another example. Snow was cleared more quickly on the main roads than on the secondary roads in Merrimack County. Dangerous is an adjective and describes avalanches compared to all other snowy weather conditions. Okay guys, so apparently my teacher's manual, as you already know, has some pretty odd changes, probably from what you said, or what you read. So Mr. Boyd, you can stop the video at this point and ask them to read what is in the yellow box, because once again, this doesn't make sense. Okay, so stop here, read the yellow box, and then come back to me. Okay, so now that you've read that part of the yellow box directly from your textbook, maybe it explains it better than what I was doing from this side of the camera. So basically, you use more and most. More if you're going to compare two things. Most if you're going to compare more than two things. So same rule as what we did with ER and EST. It's just that some adjectives and adverbs are too long to add the suffix ER, EST. It doesn't sound right. And so we do have to use a whole other word to convey the same kind of comparison. Looking at the second box, hopefully it's not as confusing as the first one, but an adverb can be used to compare actions. Short adverbs not ending in ly add er or est. Long adverbs use more, most, or less, least to compare actions. Snowstorms occur less frequently in Alabama than in Vermont. The adverb frequently describes how often snowstorms occur. Less is used to compare the frequency of the snowstorms. So in this case, you have less modifying another adverb. It's an adverb modifying another adverb, which we know that adverbs can do. Less is used to compare the frequency of the snowstorms in the states. Snow was cleared more quickly on the main roads than on the secondary roads in Merrimack County. Quickly is describes how the snow was cleared on the main roads compared to the secondary roads in Merrimack County. Do not add ER and EST at the end of an adjective or adverb when more or most or less and least is used. So the correct way would be the strongest winds blew across the lake. The incorrect way would be the most strongest winds blew across the lake. And the second example, the most frigid weather happens in January, and the incorrect form is the frigidest weather happens in January. Remember, use less and least in the same manner as more and most before longer adjectives and adverbs. So, going down here to my examples up here on the smartboard, we have the National Weather Service provides accurater information than the local weather station. Well, accurater is too long of an adjective to describe information, and adding the suffix er does not make sense. Then my second example, the National Weather Service provides the accuratest information of all. Again, it's too long of a word. It has 3 syllables, as you can see, and therefore should not get another syllable of having the suffix added to the ending. So that's why we would use more, most, less, or least. Okay, see, as in compared to the example we had for the previous lesson, loud is only 1 syllable. The best way to say these sentences is the local, let me go back up here, the National Weather Service provides more accurate information than the local TV weather station. Down here, the National Weather Service provides the most accurate information of all instead of that. All right, now let's look down here. We have the local TV weather provides less accurate information than the National Weather Service. The local TV weather station provides the least accurate information of all, and that is the correct way to do it. Okay, that is going to be the end of my lesson. If you have any questions, certainly ask Mr. Boyd, but keep in mind that before we take a test next week, I will be going over all of this with you, so if you have questions, don't panic. We will get through this. Again, I miss you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in a week. Bye-bye.